Guys, welcome to Taste to Explore. My name is Darlene, and today, my friends, I am so thrilled bringing you this classic dish. We are making pasteles. Now let me tell you, as you already know, pasteles is a labor of love. My God, it's so time consuming, but don't let that scare you now. It is not hard, it's just a little bit time consuming, and I will show you step by step in what you have to do. It's really simple and you still have enough time to make them. Now, what pasteles are, for those who never heard of it, it's a Hispanic dish that is made pretty much all over the world. You know, all Hispanic countries make them. Everybody has their own variation of it, and every household as well. So this is my take on it, and like I said, I can't wait to show you. Now, what are pasteles? Well, what it is it's like a pre-made mixture of root vegetables, which I will show you and talk to you about them shortly. And it's usually stuffed with any kind of meats. You can do pork, you can do chicken. I will do all different kinds with you. There's different variations, and later on in the future, in next year, I will show you more different styles. But right now, I'm going to show you it's quite basic, and it's so delicious. But like I said, it's a little time consuming, but don't let that fear you. Don't get scared by it. It is easy, and you still have time to make them. Alright guys, so enough chatting, we are going to get down to business. So now let me show you how I am going to prepare my meat with a delicious sofrito marinade. It's going to be divine. So let's start. Alright guys, now let's begin. Right here I have a half a cup of vegetable oil. Then right here are my spices, what we're going to be seasoning this. I have here salt and pepper. You're going to want to go a little heavy on the salt because we have a lot of meat to season. So I'm using about a tablespoon, and I'm using about a teaspoon of black pepper. I have here coriander, and I am using 2 teaspoons of that and 3 teaspoons of dry oregano. I have 2 packets of sazon. I have 1 teaspoon of cumin, and this is what you're going to need for the seasoning to flavor up our meat. And right here are some of my sofrito mix. I am missing the little sweet peppers. I am not using that today, but feel free to use what you want. I have here a large onion, a yellow onion. You can use red, you can use white. I have here about 15 cloves of garlic, 1 small pepper that I'm gonna remove the seeds as well. Right here I have 1 bunch of cilantro. Alrighty, and then over here I have culantro, and right here I have about 10 strips of that as well. Okay, so that's for that. And here is my meat. I went ahead and chopped this myself. I have bought a 9-pound pork shoulder, and I chopped it up with a good strong knife off from the bone, and I kept everything. You have the fat and the skin and the meat right in here. This is what you're going to use because we're going to make a pork version. Very traditional in the Caribbean islands of Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Cuba usually makes it like this as well. And much other places too. So this is pretty much the typical way to do it. So now let's begin, guys. Alright guys, right after you finish washing your veggies, just chop them up roughly because the blender is going to do all the work. So here it goes. Now with this sofrito, I decided to do it fresh This seasoning base is going to flavor up not only the meat, but also the masa, which is the root vegetable mixture that we're going to be doing. And I'm just going to stuff everything down. Guys, so you might going to need to do this in batches, just so that way everything could fit and blend away. Alright guys, so right after you finish doing the first batch and you see that you have room, we're going to put in the last bits in here, and then we're going to put in the oil. That's just going to help it move just a little better, because sometimes it gets clogged up and stuck and it can't go nowhere. So I'm just going to do that, and a little bit of oil is just going to help it move a little better. Okay guys, now let's begin. Right here I have my pork shoulder that I had cut into bite-sized pieces. Now mind you, my hands are clean and I had already washed my meat. And my pork shoulder is bite-sized pieces, and everything is cut up just the same size. And right now I am going to season it. Now, in no particular order, I am just going to start putting in my seasonings. Now let me remind you, this is a lot of meat and we're going to make a stew. So please be generous when you're seasoning, because if not, it will taste like nothing. And if you want, you can certainly use whatever seasonings you have on hand. Now I reserved 1 cup of my fresh sofrito. And it actually made 4 cups, and you can store the rest and use it for another day. I mean, it's terrific. It lasts great in the refrigerator for about a good week. So right now I'm just going to mix everything through with my clean hands. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for at least an hour, let it marinate and really get intensified with the flavors, and I'll see you right back. So after you allow your pork to marinate, which I did, I just place it in a bigger pot, and you're going to want to have either a big pot or a big bowl to marinate your meat in, and either cook it there or obviously move it to another pot where you can use, and this is what I'm going to use today. Okay, so moving forward, what I have going on in the pot that I had it marinating in, I just placed 3 cups of water, and I am using up all of my marinating juices. I'm not letting nothing go to waste. So I'm placing in here 3 cups of water. And I'm going to also put in some tomato paste. This is going to help it give it some color, some flavoring, and thickening up. As you can see, the water is not overly filled, as this stews is going to produce more of its liquids, and we don't have to worry about adding so much at one time. We're not trying to make a soup here, so I'm going to use all of my 6-ounce can of tomato paste. And I also have some olives. I have some chopped olives with its marinade. I'm going to place this in here. And this is about 2 tablespoons. So you use as much or as little as you like. If you want to leave it out, that's totally up to you. And I'm going to place this on the stove, medium high, with a lid on for about a good 45 minutes to an hour. I'm going to let you know how long it took, and check on it every few minutes, stir it, and I'll see you right back. Alright guys, my meat is done. The pork smells so good. It cooked for an hour. It reduced the liquid. And I have some giant pieces there that I had a hard time chopping, so I just put it in here so that I can just chop it down as it cools off, and it looks magnificent. So now it's done. It cooked an hour. So what you want to do is taste for seasoning, if it needs more salt, pepper, whatever. And then after that, let it cool off, and now we're going to get into the next phase. Now right here are my ingredients that I'm going to need to make the masa, which is the pureed mixture to make our pasteles. Everybody does it different. This is just my version of it. So here it goes. I have here 6 bundles of green bananas. Now right here I have 15 green plantains. Right here I have here yautia, the white one. They vary in size, and I have here 6. So just try to get them fairly large, and that's what I'm using today. Over here I have potatoes. I have a 5-pound bag of potatoes that I'm going to be using as well. I have here about a 3-pound half of pumpkin, half a kabacha. Okay guys, so before we begin, I would like to let you know you should use gloves for these guys right here. For the bananas right here, it tends to throw out a sap, and it discolors your fingers, and you can wash it off, but it takes a little while, and you're going to need to scrub your hands, and you don't want to go through that mess. So wear gloves for these. Make sure you have a nice sharpened knife, and I'm going to see you right back. Alright guys, so now I am going to start peeling my yautias. Now I finished with my potatoes. I had peeled them. I had chopped them to chunky size. You don't have to chop them down too small. The machine is going to do the rest. And I rinsed them off. Now these guys, these are fibrous, and they feel a little dusty from the soil that it came from. So now I'm just going to simply peel it. It comes off like a potato skin really, and I'm going to continuing on just like this. So after peeling it off with my potato peeler, it's a little bit slippery after you rinse it off. You just want to chop it up to large chunks, because you know the machine is going to do the rest. And I actually am going to chop this in half like that. I'm just going to chop it up like that. It doesn't have to be too tiny, but you don't want your machine to do so much work and risk, you know, burning it out. So I finished cutting up my yautias. I rinsed them, I peeled them, and I chopped them to the same uniform size as my potato. See how they're fairly clean? It's okay if there's any fibers in there. That's okay. Next, what you want to do is start peeling them, and you can use a potato peeler. It's just a little bit work, but nonetheless it will get the job done. Alright guys, so after you finish peeling your pumpkin, and it's gonna be a little work, it's not really easy, but it is manageable, and it's okay if it has some green specks on it. It's fine. Now we're gonna cut this bad boy. Guys, so you see how tiny I had cut them up? I don't want this to overwork my machine, because it's very, very hard at its raw state. So I'm going to keep on chopping and getting that into small little pieces. I am going to start putting in the both bananas, yautia, potatoes, and pumpkin that we had chopped up. I am not going to overly pack this food processor, because I want to make sure that the masa mixes well and it doesn't leave a lot of large chunks, and by doing that is not overfilling your food processor. You want to fill it about halfway so you can see how the consistency turns out. Now let's blend. Then I have here is carnation milk. You're just gonna put maybe a tablespoon or two just to help it move smoothly. so let me show you the way it looks now, which is perfect. Now I'm gonna take this out just to show you. I'm gonna let nothing go to waste. All right, so I have posted this for 3 or 4 times, and I have added a little bit more of the carnation milk to it. Now you see how it's beginning to look a little, not really creamier, but it's starting to stick together. It's starting to form more of a looser mixture. That's what you want. You still want it to be thick like this, and it's okay, because when we get down to seasoning our masa, we're gonna fix this up. We're not gonna make this too thick. It can't be too runny and it can't be too thick. It has to be a mix. So this is just perfect for right now, and then I'm gonna continuing on doing the rest. But I just want to show you that when you don't overfill your food processor, this is what you should be looking at. The consistency is perfect. It's a little bit, I can form a ball out of this, and it doesn't look like it's just choppy. It kind of looks a little moist and a little formed together, and that's what you want. So I'm going to continuing on with this, and I'll see you right back. Look how much masa I made. It's incredible. So I am going to put some in a smaller bowl, and I will be seasoning it like that. That will be much better. You have a better chance of your pastel to come out delicious. So never work with a big lump of masa. Do small batches. You will have a better result with your pasteles. So now let's begin. Working in small batches, we are going to season our masa. You don't want it to be watery. You kind of want like a really thick, sort of like a consistency of a mashed potato. So right here are a mixture of salt to taste, pepper to taste. I have about 3 teaspoons of dry oregano and 2 teaspoons of coriander. And this is all to taste in my, the way I want to season it. Feel free to adjust according to. Now remember, this is a lot of masa here. You need to season this very, very well. So don't be afraid to overly use a lot of salt and spices, because you want to get all that good flavor in here. All right. So now we're going to put in our achuete oil. I have a video on this, and I will leave you the link below. And 2 tablespoons so far. And it's just going to make our pastel nice and flavorful. Color. The yautia and the potatoes really help out with the mixture, as well as the milk. The milk is what also allows this to come out nice and creamy. So now I'm gonna put in some sofrito. I'm gonna put about 2 to 3 tablespoons. You can place in more milk if you like, but I like to use some of the reserve juices from the pork meat that we had cooked. This is the broth of the stew, and I'm just gonna place some in here. This will give us flavor, and it will help softening up our pastel. So I'm going to use about 3 to 4 tablespoons, and you're just going to eyeball it, maybe about 1/3 cup, which is 3 tablespoons, and just mix it through. It's going to give it fantastic flavor. As you can see, the batter looks nice. It looks smoother from when it did earlier. So this is what I'm going to be using to wrapping our pasteles, the foil method, which is, to me, is the easiest method. And you're going to need some banana leaves. You're still going to need the paper, the pastel paper, which it comes normally like a bundle like this. And you're going to need aluminum foil, and you're going to need the heavy duty one. And that is all you're going to need to get this started. Alright guys, now let's begin. Now let's start with our aluminum foil. We're gonna take one out. Now the length that you want to use is about maybe about the size of an 8 by 10 picture frame. Yeah, that should be about good. Maybe about an 8 by 10 picture frame. Okay? You don't have to use a measuring tape. Just eyeball it. What a large picture frame will look like between an 8 by 10 or a 10 by 13. You know, give yourself an idea with that. Now with this white paper, I am going to fold it and cut it in half. Like so, right? Make sure you make a crease and it's cut, and you just want to rip it up. Like so. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is what it's going to be right inside. Okay, just like so. Then with the banana leaf, we're just gonna take a piece. Now the banana leaf provides flavor and it gives off a really good flavor. Just tear off a piece with your hands. It breaks like nothing. It really does. Like, it breaks like nothing. And just put it to the center. As long as it is shorter than the white paper, and making sure that the white paper is shorter than the aluminum foil. That's it. Okay guys, now let's fill this. What we're going to do first is take your natto oil, and we're going to spread a nice generous amount using a teaspoon, tablespoon will do. This is a tablespoon, and you're just going to spread it with this. This is going to prevent it from sticking and give it some color. And it's moving everywhere, but it's okay. Just spread it as much as possible. Just next, you're going to use your masa. You can use a half a cup. You can measure it out with a measuring cup if you want. A half a cup. If you do a whole cup, that's going to be one big pastele you're making. Or you could do as small or as large as you want. The choice is really up to you. And like I said, you can make as big or tiny as you want. I'm just going to go for a half a cup, because we're going to put our pork meat in there. Okay. And this is cooled off, so I'm just going to fill it. You can put as much or as little as you want. Some people add raisins. I don't do that. Some people add garbanzo beans. I don't do that neither. But if that's what you like, right now is the time for you to add it. Or if you want to put additional olives, choice is yours. I don't do that neither. Okay, so we're going to fold it the long way, facing me. So just take this and fold it like so. You want to press everything against each other and making like a crease. I'm going to take this first one right here, the very first, and just do like a first little crease on it, and then we're going to do it again. And again. This helps it lined up, staying right here in the center. Okay. Makes a nice little tight pastel. Then, working either way that you like. I'm going to work this way. I'm going to just push it so it could be lined up in the middle. And we're going to do the same thing here. Just folding it and folding it. Alright, with the pressure of this, it's going to line it up. So, alright. So So when you do the last part, everything is already in the center and it's not going to, burst out. And we can just fold it, and fold it some more. And here it is, a cute little pastel. Okay, it won't open and it's perfect. It's not exactly the traditional way packaging it in with the paper and thread, but it's perfect. I mean, it's gonna cook and then it's gonna come out marvelous. So right here I have a pot boiling away with water. You're gonna wanna be generous with the salt in here. Now I know that we season our pasteles really well and you figure it's not gonna need the salt, but it is. The water is gonna dilute it and it's not gonna taste so flavorful. So add your salt in the water. It's just gonna complement your pastel. So I'm gonna put 2 in for now. Okay, and these are fresh, so these are gonna take for an hour. Now if these were frozen, I would say about an hour and a half, depending on how high you have your stove. Right now is on a medium high with my water already boiling, so it's perfect just to put these 2 in, and then within an hour they'll be done. So we're gonna do a taste test and I'll see you right back. 1 hour later, and I allow this to cool off on my plate for maybe a good 15 minutes. I didn't want to, touch it while it's piping hot. But look how easy this is. While this is cool, of course, make sure you don't burn yourself. You're just going to tear the top. I'm going to do it this way, yeah. Tear the top from over here. See? And then it tears easily going down the line. And then that's it, my friends. Look, no fuss, no muss. The with the leaf. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da! Delish, delish, delish. Now let's do a taste test. Now I am ready to eat one. Now it smells so ridiculously good, it's insane. And I know the taste is even better. I kid you not, the first bite makes you just fall in love again with this dish. Thank you so much for viewing and subscribing, and don't forget to share. Share this on your social media platforms. I need to grow and I need help from my friends, and I thank you so much. Enjoy your pasteles. It tastes beautiful. I mean, it is tender. I don't know if you ever had a pastel that's kind of hard and tough. No, not this. This is soft. This is I'm gonna say juicy, but only because it's soft. It's nice. It has a nice flavor. Everything is well seasoned. It's not hard. It's not too gritty. It is perfect just the way I like it. So I know you're gonna give this a try. It's gorgeous. Is delightful. Is moist. Is everything that you're gonna like in a pastel, and even better because you're making it and you can put a lot of meat. You can make your pasteles big. You can make them small. However, you are the boss in your kitchen. So I thank you so much, and I will see you again. Take care. Bye bye.